Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to another episode of Daily Reset. And right here is where a new chapter of your life starts. So today we're going to have a very special episode. It's more of a take onto martial arts. But before that, how about we take a short break and we'll be right back right after this. So stay tuned. Don't go away. Hello, dear viewers, and we're back again after that short break. And today we have a very interesting guest. His name is Abdullah Alfraij, and he is a system instructor, MMA, and a Kembo instructor. But before that, how about we take more information about him, let him introduce himself. So, hello and welcome to the show.
Hello, Mr. Nasser.
So tell me a little bit more about yourself. Who are you? Where did you start, let's say, your education or your love into sports of MMA?
I'm Abdullah Alfraij, as you said, and I started martial arts as a coincidence when I was in an academy of reciting Quran, and there was every weekend they bring, for example, a teacher for every, let's say, subject. Every time they teach us a subject, and one of these times there was a martial art instructor. From this class or this seminar that they gave us, I knew that martial arts is a very big subject you should learn and you should benefit in your life, and that's how I started.
All right. So how did you get into loving, let's say, system? I'm not sure how the order is. Did you start with Systema, then Kembo, then MMA? So
Systema was the first martial art.
So how did it start? Where did it start first? And how did you actually fall in love with it?
As I was saying, the seminar that we have was my Systema instructor, and he's still my instructor. His name is Dakhil.
Okay.
Here, the first time I worked with him, I saw him how he was controlling the situation from the fight, either if it was striking or grappling or even ground fighting, without using his power. He was always moving in such a way or standing in such a place that he has the advantage. And when I saw him doing this, let's say it's supernatural things that you can control people without using your power, I said, okay, I need to learn.
Without excessive force, without pushing too much. Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
That was amazing.
So in simple terms, how can you tell the people what Systema is and where did the idea started and how is it used on a daily basis?
Systema is, in Russian, it's called the system. Before it was called the system or Systema, it was called Know Yourself. So this system that we are studying, or the martial art, is all about system that you know how to work with for surviving a fight or even your normal life. And it has 4 categories that you should keep in mind, and you can survive any martial art with these 4 categories. And I see them that they are the basic of martial arts, and they are breathing, relaxation, and movement and structure. When you have the right breathing, so you can have the best relaxation, and with the relaxation you can move freely in such a way that you can survive whatever the fight is, and with the right structure, depending if you're striking or grappling or even ground fighting, you can survive.
Okay, so in general, let's say that it's more of a system where you can control yourself so that you can maximize the, let's say, the effect of the moves, at the same time keeping your breathing and the level that you can actually do more.
Yes, because it's an, let's say, self-defense martial art and street martial art, and even they were teaching it for the Soviet army. So it's always about, you don't know when the fight will finish. So you need to always have the power to keep fighting. That's why you need to minimize your strength, your power that you're gonna use in the fight, because you don't know when it will finish. It's not a sport. It's not like a tournament that you know that after, for example, 5 minutes, the fight will stop or the judge will stop the fight. It's about surviving in the street.
Yeah, it's not an endurance kind of thing. It's more of a survival and embracing. Yes, exactly.
Embracing.
So tell us a little bit more about Systema. How is it different from different martial arts that you've practiced? I'm sure you've practiced different martial arts, or at least seen different martial arts. So how's this different?
The difference that I saw in Sistema, of course, martial art in general, they distribute to two kinds of martial arts, either sports martial arts or self-defense.
True.
So at the sport martial arts, and it's the most common and most likely everybody wants to see the sports because they're fun.
Yeah.
It's about playing, and it's about having rules and trying to play within the rules. And it's fun, of course, and I enjoy it. But in Sistema, the difference is there is no rules, there is no time, there is no limits, there is nothing. It's an open world. You can use whatever you need to survive. And there is even not the opponents, there is no count. Maybe you're gonna fight the streets with 2 or 3 persons. So there is different characteristics to work with, which is not in the sports martial arts.
Okay, so now in Sistema, how do we compare it to more styles that are more rigid, or let's say old school, or basically? So this is more of as I understand from you, Sistema is more of a collective idea. It's an idea that came from the use for army, and they used it for combat. So I'm sure it came out from using more effective moves constantly. So now that Sistema was developed, how do you compare it to other sports or other martial arts that are a bit older, or self-defense, as they say?
Okay. Martial art in general, if we're gonna take it, you know that martial arts is always coming from a town or a city. For example, there is Japanese martial arts, and there is, let's say, European martial arts. There is Russian martial arts. Even there is some of the, if you saw them before, the swords martial arts that we have in Arabs.
Yes.
Every martial arts come from a certain weapon that the certain ground uses.
Yeah.
For example, Arabs always work with swords, and Japanese too work with swords. So you see the movements, even where they are not using swords, the defense style is compared with the movement. It looks like working with swords.
It's true. Yeah.
Russians, they most likely use wipes. You know the whip.
The whip. Yep.
The whip. Sorry. So their movement is that's what they're making their martial arts unique. It's more free.
Okay. It's more linear, and you can actually. There's a better flow.
There is better flow, and there is more dimensional. Because swords, there is a dimension for hitting with a sword or defending. But with the whip, it's always more free. So that was a big difference in the Russian style or system from the other martial arts.
Okay. So let's get out of a little bit of history, and let's talk about today. How did Sistema actually help you in the fitness world, and also made you feel better in general?
In Sistema, we always work because Sistema is not working for a tournament you're gonna participate in. You're always training for the black day that inshallah will not come.
Yes.
So the type of training is about pressure. Every class I join, they put us under pressure and teach us how to work within this pressure. Whatever kind of fight we're training, even if it was strikes, grappling, or ground, or even knife work, sticks, it's always about pressure. So when I endure or embrace this kind of pressure in this class, when I come out, there is no more pressure. Because what can be more pressure than when you're going down and somebody, let's say, for example, kicking you or stabbing you or even trying to punch you or take you down, and you endure it and you try to embrace it, and try to work with it. That makes your life easier. You know, what will happen if somebody, because you have, for example, a presentation tomorrow for the CEOs of your company. It's not that pressure like what I was doing yesterday in the class.
Exactly.
So that makes my life such easier.
Oh, one last thing is, like, how can we talk about more about now you're enduring all of this, and people see like how beautiful the movements are and how fluid it is and how it flows, but I'm sure that inside of you you're struggling, or you're fighting, or you're trying to always think. So can you explain that a little bit more?
Yes, the first fight that you're gonna do in your life is the fight with yourself. If I have a tournament, for example, and I know that I'm gonna fight somebody, before I fight this somebody, I need to fight myself to be relaxed, to be calm, to have more faith in myself that I'm gonna enjoy myself and I'm gonna win, for example. So I hope that's answering that your question about the struggling.
It does. How about this? We take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right. All right, dear viewers, how about we take a short break and we'll be right back right after this. So stay tuned and don't go away. And we're back, dear viewers, after that short break. And let's continue our journey talking about more about Systema and beyond. So in the beginning of the episode, I've said that you're an instructor for many other sports, which is also Kajikumbo and also MMA. So how does that fit with Systema?
Systema, because it was a very open martial art and there is no limits, there is no rules to work within. So it was easy for me to go any martial arts and just put myself in their rules and work with their rules. So that's what I like about Systema.
All right. So talking about working with rules, you also work with breathing, and breathing, as you mentioned, is the most important thing in Systema. So could you elaborate more about why is breathing so important and how does it help with yourself and the situation that you're in?
Breathing, of course, it's the way of life. And breathing, it's what makes you calm, what makes you relaxed, and even help you move, help you see the stuff more better. So that's why you need to focus on breathing. And even every class, at the end, we need to do some breathing exercise. So you can know how to control your body and how to control your breathing in such situations.
Okay. So also in Systema, you talked about adaptability and how you can actually figure out the situation that you're in. So it's more of a mental thing more than a physical. So how can you explain that to the dear viewers about how it is actually a game of mental more than a game of physical?
It's mentally about having faith in the system that you're learning.
Okay.
When you know that what you have of skills will save you from such situation. So mentally, you need to be relaxed so you can see and adapt. If you're stressed or tension, you cannot see the movement coming.
Yeah.
The more you relax, you can see the movement around you and you can see yourself where you're stuck. So
not just the movement, but also what you learned, right? So you cannot actually apply what you learned
if you're not relaxed.
If you're not relaxing, you're not breathing, you'll start to just throw things.
I know a lot of players, they are perfect players in the training class. But when we go to tournaments, they lose. And I win. And they're better than me. I think why I'm winning and they're losing because of this stress and this type of relaxation. Because I'm going to the tournament and I'm relaxed and I'm trying to think what I'm gonna do, doing a strategy. But better players than me, maybe they're tense, maybe they're stressed, maybe they don't have faith about the system they know, so they lose.
So it's not about whether you learn the system or not. Like you can learn the system, but you also can be bad in it at the same time. Or
if you're not relaxed, yes.
Yeah, if you're not relaxed. So if we're talking about technique versus principle, so Systema uses forms of principles, not forms of technique like other martial arts. So how does that actually affect your training and just also the way of teaching at the same time? So for yourself and others.
Okay, the difference between techniques and principles. Techniques is a very good thing to learn in sports. Or let's say what are the difference? Techniques, for example, if I'm teaching a grappling sport, as an instructor, I can think what could happen in a grappling fight and give techniques to defend or attack the situation.
So it's like fixed forms.
Yes, it could be because I can think what's gonna happen. I can predict it. But in self-defense, martial arts, I cannot think or predict what could happen in the street. So I cannot give a technique for a strike or an attack that could happen to the street, because the street, it's very hard to predict it. But in sports, I can predict it because there is rules, there is a way of hitting or the way of an attack that I can defend or attack. That's why principles is better for self-defense, for street fighting, that you have these principles.
And techniques is more like a discipline. It has more, as you said, fixed rules and respect between each other. And you can do one time and I do one time. But in the streets, there's no, these things are not there.
Of course. But still there is discipline in the principles.
Of course.
If you have the principles and you're disciplined with it, you can even go to somewhere that they have techniques and still can, let's say, prevent them attacking you because the principles are strong.
Yeah,
that's it.
And you also do have your own techniques. I mean, you do have...
Of course, when I'm playing sports, I need to use my techniques. Because it's like playing football, but you don't want to use the same rules. You don't want to use the techniques of football. You cannot.
True. Yeah.
But when you're playing football, you're going to use the techniques of football.
Yes.
But you cannot use the same techniques in, for example, basketball, because there's a different way of attacking and scoring, and there is a different way of attacking and scoring, and same thing with defending.
All right.
That's how martial arts.
So if we talk about the way that Systema deals with fear and tension versus other sports, how does that actually project, or how do you can explain that?
In the other martial arts, they're doing techniques in a lot of times for long years, so the movement can be in their subconscious. They can do the same movement even without having relaxation. Okay. That's why some of them win in competitions without even having the relaxation.
Okay.
But in self-defense, you need relaxation, because I'm not sure if your subconscious is gonna do the movement that you're gonna need in such situation in the street. So the relaxation is more important in the street than other martial arts.
Than other martial arts. So basically, in the Systema, you have to push away tension and fear. And just be more relaxed so that you can, as you said before, to see the whole situation rather than just like mixing it up in your head. But when you're talking about subconscious, you mean like it's how they recall it, like how they bring it back every time. It's just like fixed movements.
How their body will do the movement even without thinking. But in Systema, when you're relaxed, you're gonna have better thinking, because in street fighting, sometimes to win, you don't need to fight, because it's not about winning and losing. It's about survival. It's about getting back home safely. In sports, no, you need to do the same movement the right way and you will win, because it's all about sports.
Talking about going home safely, let's get out a little bit from the environment of the gym and training and all of this. How does actually Systema help you in your daily life and your daily routine? How did it help you with, as you said, your breathing or your mentality? How do you see that it actually affected you personally?
The 4 major characteristics that I said about Systema, which is breathing, relaxation, movement, and structure. I carry this characteristics with me my whole life. That's how it's changed me. The way I'm standing, the way I'm moving, the way I open the door, the way I'm shaking hands. I'm always relaxed, keeping myself natural, in the right structure, not sitting in a way that's not good for for example, my back.
And it keeps you also calm, right? It's not the type that makes you always be angry or tension. You're always relaxed, of course. So it's like more self-discipline also.
Yes.
All right. All right, how about this? We take another quick break and we'll be right back for more, okay? Of course. All right, dear viewers, stay tuned, because we'll be right back for more, and you want to actually watch what's going to happen right after this, so stay tuned. Hello, dear viewers, and we're back again right here at Daily Reset, and we have our major topic, which is about a very amazing or very interesting and intriguing martial art, which is Systema. So, could you tell us more about the breathing that you practice on a daily basis? How do you do it, and how does it actually affect your daily life?
Usually, people forget how to breathe.
Yeah.
And with less pressure, they hold their breathing and forget how to breathe. That's why in Systema, we always put ourselves in pressure and try to breathe within this pressure. For example, if two persons in the class trying to hold me, I need to just, before applying the defense mechanics, I need to relax. I need to breathe. I need to embrace that, okay, it's okay, somebody is holding me. I need to work with it. I need to relax. And then I should try to break free.
Mhm.
And because we're living in a civilized city and civilized way of life, we don't have a lot of contact. We're always in desks, always. Only maybe the strong contact we're gonna do is shaking hands. But in martial arts, when you're always having contact, very strong contact, that give you more confidence, that give you more,
It basically prepares you for
prepares you that for any type of problem, I can work with it. I can breathe within it.
Mhm.
So that's why when contact starts and you don't know how to breathe, you're gonna hold yourself.
Yes, of course. Holding your breath does basically mix not just tension physically, but even your head. The moment you, even if people think like if you take a deep breath, you'll be calm, but no, actually you're like suffocating yourself, even though if you don't have air. It's like the same thing. Talking about that, how about tension and stress? Like, how does Systema deal with tension and stress? Again, whether in training or outside training, which is your daily life, just going around with people or, dealing with them.
Yes. It's all about breathing and putting yourself in pressure. When you can work within pressure, using breathing, movement, every person have a type of, every type of person has a way with working with the pressure. Some walk, some call a friend, some take a drive in a car. In Systema, we're trying to find what's your type to relax from pressure. That's why it was called Know Yourself. That's why it's the system.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing in the class. We're putting ourselves under pressure and we're learning about ourselves, how we're working with pressure and what's wrong, what's happening with my body and how can I prevent it.
All right. So how would you advise our dear viewers about if they actually feel stiff or disconnected from their self? How can you let them come back and just, be one or centered, as they say?
Okay, there is an exercise that I recommend. It's easy and it's you can do it even in home. It's just laying down and relaxing all your body and inhaling and exhaling. Let's say, for example, there's of course a lot of ways of inhaling and exhaling. You can check up breathing exercises. For example, let's say you're inhaling for 3 seconds and exhaling 5 seconds. Do it maybe for 10 times and then start tensing some of your muscles. For example, we're starting with our hands. I need to relax all my body and only tense my hands. With the inhale, I tense. With the exhale, I relax. So 3 seconds inhaling, tensing my hands, exhaling, relaxing my hands. And I'm doing the same thing for all my muscles. Hands, and then let's go for example, for the legs and for the core, neck, back, and then you can tense all your body. That will help you connect to your body and know how to isolate and use your body the right way.
Okay. It's like reconfiguring your body again, getting to know it again.
Yes.
Getting to know, like we know that we live in a world that is very busy all the time. Sometimes we do forget ourselves and we forget how to reconnect with ourselves. It's very true. So how could also Systema be very adaptable to, let's say, as a sport or a system for families, for your community, for yourself? How can you even introduce it to them?
In Systema, it's not all about strong physical and how doing a lot of push-ups, set-ups, and being a strong athlete, because it's about surviving in the street. So it's all about knowing yourself, whether you're, for example, 50 years old or 20 years old. You need to know how to work with your body, to work with the situation, depending on your body and your lifestyle. So it's not all about being strong.
All right. Talking about that, what did Systema actually, taught you in general? I mean, all of these years that you've been training it. what did it teach you personally, and not physically or in the mat or in the hectagon or anywhere else, but personally between you and yourself? What did it actually taught you?
It humbled me, because in the Sistema class, when you know that there is no rules, for example, that's why there is no belts in Sistema, because there is no rules, there is no limits. So what's the black belt in Sistema? If you're good in striking, maybe you're not good in grappling. If you're not good in grappling, maybe you're good in striking and grappling, not good in the ground. Maybe you're good on all of these three, but not good if there is two persons attacking you, or three. Okay, maybe you're good with all of what I said, but when you give somebody a knife, you're not good giving somebody a stick. So there is no black belt, there is no mastery for such a martial art. So it humbled me. It showed me that you're always, there is something that's gonna make you not the best. There is somebody better. There is a characteristic that will take you one step backwards.
Let's say that it actually reminds you that you're still human. You can't always be perfect in everything. Even if the system is perfect, you can't be perfect. But you can be really good at something in the system. And that will make you, let's say, shine differently from other people that you work with, other sportsmen. So what advice would you give the dear viewers, whether a life advice or even about system in general?
My advice is the first person that's responsible of protecting you is yourself.
True.
So you need to have something to protect yourself. Sistema is like an insurance in your pocket. Whenever you need to protect yourself, you can have the tools, the skills, the way of working to defend yourself. So you need to learn how to defend yourself.
And if you don't need it, you just put it back again and just be a normal person, which also teaches you that. I mean, also Sistema, as you said, it teaches you how to be more humble, as you said, because it doesn't have a belting system. It teaches you how to breathe so that you can always collect yourself and be centered. So in some way, it is, as you said, it's a way of life. You can learn from it. It teaches you, and you can, be taught and teach other people. All right. So thank you so much for this amazing episode with you. It's been very of a, it's an eye opener. I've never actually, I've seen always Sistema, but I've never actually understood it in a more deeper meaning. And thanks to you, I've known it even more. I should take some classes with you.
Of course, you're master.
Thank you so much again, Abdullah, for being here, and we hope to see you soon again.
Thank you, Mr.
Thanks. Thank you. All right, dear viewers, we've reached to the end of today's episode right here at Daily Reset. We hope that you actually got enough advices and know more about the system, and you should try it out. It is a very family-friendly, as they say, system where you actually can learn how to self-defense yourself, but also learn how to be a more humble person from within. And that's how the system works. So without further ado, dear viewers, we hope to see you soon again on Daily Reset, where a new chapter of your life starts right here. See you soon.